My name is Miguel Barrios. I got my Ph.D. from the University of Georgia, where I researched microbiology and poultry nutrition. I'm the business development manager for Monogastrics in the US at Jefo. Today, I'll be answering questions on vitamins. Welcome to Livestock Community. Why do you think there has been limited innovation or change in the use of vitamins in the chicken industry over the past 30 years? I think the biggest reason why is because a lot of this foundational research was done in the 60s, and once we developed those standards, we kind of have stuck to those. The most recent NRC, which sets the guidelines for nutrient requirements for broilers and poultry, was in 1994, and there have been small changes, small modifications to these requirements, but no great seismic changes to the nutrients as we know today. Can you elaborate on what you mean by the foundational understanding of vitamins and poultry nutrition? Sure. Over the years, we've definitely gained an understanding into the roles of vitamins and poultry nutrition and the immune system. This knowledge has definitely led to the industry and primary breeders to collaborate and come up with our own idea of what can be done to optimize performance as far as efficiency of production and immunity as well. Have there been any major changes in our understanding of vitamin requirements for poultry in recent years? We've had some sort of breakthroughs over the years with redefinings on the use of certain vitamins. For example, vitamin D3 and the source of those vitamins has changed over the years, and our understanding of the need that those sources are needed. But there still hasn't been what I would call a seismic shift since the 90s probably. What factors have contributed to the stability and consistency in vitamin usage in the poultry industry? We definitely have the establishment of regulatory guidelines by the government. Of course, the US FSIS keeps an eye on what animal feed should have. There are certain minimum requirements for all these vitamins, and that's what we need to follow. That's what integrators follow when they look at formulating diets for poultry. And then beyond that, the advancements as far as different formulation software has definitely helped us follow with those requirements. How do advancements in feed formulation technology impact the use of vitamins in poultry diets? Having access to these types of software have helped in that we can account for the supplemental premixes, vitamins and minerals, as well as the sort of inherent nutrient composition of the feed ingredients as well. Corn, soy, meat and bone meal, DDGs, all those types of ingredients have vitamins, a vitamin and mineral content. So accounting for all those things as we formulate a diet has optimized our formulation of diets. Are there any specific challenges or limitations associated with vitamin supplementation in poultry diets that have hindered innovation? Well, we know that one big challenge that we have is the stability of certain vitamins, especially when you're mixing them into a complete feed or with other minerals. We know choline is a vitamin that's very hard to maintain its stability, and it will definitely help in the degradation process of other vitamins. So we need to be really aware of those types of interactions when we look at feed processing, storage, and how that will eventually be digested. How do you see the role of vitamins evolving in poultry nutrition in the future, considering factors such as sustainability and consumer preferences? One big focus that I believe poultry production will have, or inherently feed plays a big role, which means vitamins and minerals, is sustainability. Whether that accounts for the production of vitamins or how having a certain stability in those vitamins, having a certain source of those vitamins will result in better sustainability for poultry production. Have there been any trends or emerging technologies that could potentially impact the use of vitamins in poultry diets? There are some technologies that are being researched right now. Precision nutrition is a term that has become super relevant in recent years. Nutrient protection technologies, nutrigenomics, the synergy between feed additives can also enhance the efficacy and absorption of those vitamins and minerals as well. And of course, it's going to affect growth performance. So we have a question from a Livestock Community member. Can you tell us more about the concept of predictive vitamins? So predicting vitamins refers to vitamins that are encapsulated or otherwise treated. There's different kinds of protection. More often than not, it's a lipid matrix that those vitamins are in, and it protects the ingredients, in this case vitamins, from degradation from feed processing through digestion, and making sure that those active ingredients are released where they need to be, in this case in the small intestine. What percentage of protective vitamins is effectively absorbed in the body? So this protection mechanism in vitamins, in this case, usually uses a coating that resists degradation in environments regardless of temperature or pH, and it dissolves in the more neutral pH that is found in the small intestine. Some of these protection materials can be waxes or fats. There's actually silica materials that are used sometimes. These coatings are all so the active ingredients will remain stable until they're available in the small intestine. So at that point, between the actions of lipases and bile acids, in the case of fatty coatings, 100% of that active ingredient is released and it can be absorbed by the animal. How does the intake of protective vitamins affect overall vitamin levels in the body? So the inclusion rates of these vitamins can have an effect on the body because vitamins are basically cofactors of enzymes that help in the digestion process. And so if we don't have the right vitamins and the right concentration during the absorption process, we're not going to have effective take-up of these nutrients. Therefore, it's really important that vitamins are available and that we have the right amount of all these vitamins for the moment for them to be absorbed. Are there any areas of ongoing research or potential areas of exploration related to vitamin usage in poultry nutrition? Some of the research that is being presented at the different conferences nowadays is to do with synergistic effects of maybe the same vitamins. The vitamin source for vitamin D, for example, can have an effect on how those vitamins are absorbed. Then the synergy between those two vitamin sources and then those vitamins with the rest of the vitamin premix is something that we still need to learn. Beyond that, precision nutrition is something that we're still needing to understand as the growth curve goes on in order to pinpoint the best inclusion rate for these vitamin premixes along the life of the bird. How do you think the increasing focus on antibiotic reduction in poultry production may impact the use of vitamins in the future? Reducing antibiotics in poultry can place a bigger focus on optimizing flock health and immunity through nutrition. So we'll be more concerned about overall animal health instead of only focusing on the band-aids that we used to have available to us when we were able to use antibiotics. The main focus is going to be immunity and immune health of that bird, since it is a very expensive process instead of an easy solution. Do you think there are any untapped opportunities for innovation in the field of vitamin supplementation for poultry? We have the foundations of what primary breeders have shown us to do. We also know what the NRC sets as our basics for vitamin nutrition. But if we want to supplement that, we could also look at what are we doing with the water. Can we supplement any of these vitamins in the water in order to make sure that, especially in stress times, the first week of life, during some of those typical disease times of necrotic enteritis or coccidiosis, can we support the bird's immune system by supplementing vitamins through the water? That's something that we can always expand on, and water supplementation has generally lagged as compared to our feed formulations. How do you stay updated on the latest developments and research in the field of poultry nutrition, including the use of vitamins? We have several key conferences in the US that are very poultry focused, between IPPE, Alabama Feed and Grain, PSA, and Arkansas Nutrition Conference. That's where the poultry industry is present. All the poultry nutritionists attend, and the academia. The most up-to-date information is present there to discuss issues that growers are actually having. So those are 4 places that I don't miss every single year. What advice would you give to poultry producers regarding optimizing their vitamin supplementation strategies? I would definitely suggest that growers talk very closely with their nutritionists, maybe their veterinarians as well, to understand potential disease challenges. And then beyond that, their primary breeders, so they know they can align all three things: the nutrition and what their diet currently contains, the disease challenges and which vitamins could help with some of those, and then lastly, their primary breeders, based on what birds they're raising today, what's the best way to go about setting their vitamin premixes for their grow out. I would also add, if there's any concern for vitamin degradation in their feed processing and feed delivery, then predicting those vitamins could be a very useful tool. Can you discuss any potential environmental or sustainability implications associated with vitamin supplementation in poultry diets? We know that we have certain poultry requirements for all these vitamins. The industry over the years has tended to overfeed some of these vitamins, and we know that if we take minerals as an example, we're starting to get regulations on the mineral side. It wouldn't be surprising if those regulations are also extended to the vitamin side. So going back to the concept of precision nutrition and knowing exactly how much vitamin we need for each growing phase, if there is a delivery methodology talking about protecting these vitamins that would help us feed the right amount of vitamins, or maybe even a lower amount than we ever thought of vitamins, that could help in our sustainability. How do you think the future of vitamin supplementation in poultry nutrition will unfold? There's a lot of research that goes on in poultry. Have these conversations with public all the time, and they're always surprised at how much research we do every single day. One of the biggest things that the poultry industry is looking for is a new NRC. We need to update our requirement needs for poultry, broilers, layers, turkeys, and then beyond that, we can certainly learn from what primary breeders are doing, what integrators have been doing for a long time, and come up with these new requirements that are actually helpful and relatable to the industry. In your opinion, what are the most pressing research needs or gaps in our understanding of vitamin nutrition in poultry? So we still need to understand how vitamins really help in an immune response, for example. Vitamins are just a cofactor of enzymes, so they help with all these chemical processes. And if we had a better understanding of what vitamins, how much of them can actually help us in an immune response, then we can really fine-tune those vitamins in our premixes to adjust for the disease challenges that we know we typically have. My name is Miguel Barrios. I hope I've answered all your questions. Thank you for listening to Livestock Community.
Thanks for watching this episode of the Livestock Community Podcast, proudly sponsored by Jefo. We hope you enjoyed the discussion and found it valuable. For more information, be sure to visit www.jefo.com/livestockcommunity, and don't forget to follow us on YouTube and Instagram to stay updated with the latest episodes and content. We'd love to have our experts answer your questions, so feel free to send them our way through our social media. See you next time, and thank you for being part of the Livestock Community.